Hello, everyone, and welcome into episode number 3 of the Pucks Out podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network. I am Bobby Butler, and with me, as always, is Mr. Brandon Bond.
Heyo.
We are in the Standing Stone Farm studio. It's about time to crack a cold one and start number 3, huh?
Let's do it, man. I'm gonna need a cold one. Yeah, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, Bobby. It's gonna be a rough day for me. So I had already cracked mine. I tried to trick you and everybody, but that was my bad.
So on this episode, we've got a apology we need to get to about some fake news that was brought to our attention from episode number 1.
Man, I always knew we were gonna have to do one of these, Bobby. I really thought that it was gonna be you that had to do it, but it's me. Remy, a follower of ours on Twitter, has brought to our attention that I said that Adam Banks on the Mighty Ducks was the skater that couldn't stop, when we all know that he was the team ringer. It was actually Luis Mendoza that couldn't stop and kept running into the cans, and so that, I've shamed, my parents, obviously. Penalty Box Radio, they've given me a platform, and I've done something so embarrassing, and frankly, I'm disappointed in myself. I'm trying to give an apology here, man, and you're cracking open a beer?
I mean, that was so boring. I already finished my first one.
Oh my goodness. On the week that they announced that Emilio Estevez is coming back with the Mighty Ducks, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry to all of you that have trusted my authority on Mighty Ducks, I would say, and it's been shattered. I've since been kicked out of many clubs, and many. Goldberg actually came here high on meth trying to steal his jersey back from me, man. So I mean, it's been rough on me too out there. So just keep that in mind as you publicly shame me. I would imagine it's kind of like a scarlet letter type situation is what I'm expecting. I think that's
good for first apology for some. Well, moving on now. What have you been up to this last week, man?
Man, not a lot. Just Super Bowl party, such stuff like that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little Super Bowl later.
We're gonna talk a little bit of the Super Bowl. Watching some. We actually found that out when we were at the Preds game Monday night a week ago from tonight, and wow, that was so it was double crushing.
Yeah, and since then I've also went to the Vegas game, which was equally disappointing, if not worse.
After 2 big wins.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so yeah, this past week I started my first skating and hockey lessons.
Oh yeah.
So that was fun. Good. I didn't bust my ass. But I was using rental skates, and I actually just got back from buying my first pair of skates, and what do you know? I ran into a fan of ours at the store. Oh yeah. So shout out to Mr. Todd.
Oh, Todd.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate you listening out there, man. Hopefully, the apology, you don't go back and fact check me past this point, man.
So today we are drinking some Shinerbach, Texas Classic. We drank a good bit of this in Dallas for the Winter Classic.
We like to drink like the locals when we go places. So this was perfect. I love the Shinerbach as a good domestic beer.
So moving on to some news and notes from around the league. We were going to talk about this last week, but with the unfortunate passing of Kobe Bryant, we wanted to move this back a little bit so we could give it our full attention. So it was reported back on January 21st that Oilers affiliate player Brandon Manning was suspended 5 games for directing a racial slur towards Boku and Mama. I personally think that 5 games is ridiculous.
It's way too low.
I have a very extreme and, quite frankly, probably a polarizing opinion on this, that if you get caught using a racial slur on the ice, you're done for life. You're done. It's 2020. You've had plenty of warnings. You know better by now. If you're a retired player who gets caught using racial slurs off the ice, your records are expunged from the league. You're done. You're kicked out of the Hall of Fame. Your name is taken off the cup, any awards. And, frankly, there's just no room for it anymore in the league. But while we were in Dallas, we met an awesome guy. His name was Ben.
And his wife.
Yeah, his name was Ben Douglas. He's a person of color in the hockey world. He grew up playing in Dallas and now lives in Santa Fe. Brandon here sat down and interviewed him, And Brandon, why don't you tell us how that went?
Yeah, I reached out to him. We're not really set up just yet to take phone calls. Otherwise, we will have him on, and we're actually gonna have him on, not just to talk about specifically racism in hockey, but just sit down and talk with us. He was a genuinely good dude. So again, we're two white guys that didn't play hockey when we were younger. So this is something that we didn't really have an expertise on, but wanted to give a platform to speak about it a little bit. So the first question that I asked him, I said, was racism a major problem for you growing up playing hockey? Ben said, I wouldn't say it was a major problem, but it was a problem. The problem was that it wasn't getting heated in the moment of the game and slashing someone or lining them up for a big hit. It was that they were expressly trying to hurt me or get at me in a way that they knew was horrible, the lowest they could go. I then asked, was it more general or specifically used to target a player that's playing well? He said, being the only black guy on most of my teams, it was definitely geared towards me and had nothing to do with whether I just put up a hattie or I was a non-factor in the game. As you got older, did it get worse? I asked him. It peaked around the bantam to high school age, but decreased with travel hockey in juniors. I think a part of the reason that it happened less in juniors, though it did still happen, was that kids didn't want the consequence if it was going to drop the gloves or have a teammate drop them for me. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. Also, once you get to that higher level of hockey, you already have a better head on your shoulders, maybe. So, definitely interesting that it seemed to change a little bit for him. Just like what you said, Bobby, some consequence that may come. Again, hockey has a built-in consequence for a lot of stuff like that. And that means I'm going to fight you. So I asked him also, did it tend to come overtly, or was it like more subtle? Were they just trying to get inside of his head using the race issue? He told me both. When it came to on the ice play, it was more overt, knee-jerk reaction and not as thought out. But walking around the rink, having other coaches or teams saying things like, you gonna go get a chicken and waffles now? Or call me brother, I hope you get some watermelon, with smirks on their face. That sort of hurtful, subtle attacks. I asked also, I wanted to know if it was just confined to external individuals, other teams, players, coach, or did he get it a little bit from teammates and parents of teammates, that kind of stuff. He said getting a lot of the subtle stuff from my own team was probably even worse, but at the age I was and the sport I was in, I just let it go. Looking back on it now, I wish I had said something or called it out. Getting called Whitey as nickname in juniors, or my teammates dropping the N-word because they thought it was okay since we were friends, was something that I should have stepped up and changed then. That's tough to, as a kid, having to try to decide whether you're going to stand up for racism or just, get to play the sport you love, because it, maybe not have any other options. A lot heavier than we go. It's very clear that it was a big problem for Ben and a big issue for Ben. So I hate to hear that's what he went through, and you can definitely understand why he wouldn't want to rock the boat or that's a scary thing for a kid. So hey Ben, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate getting your take and getting your opinion on this.
So before we move on to the lighter part of the show, we real quickly want to give a shout out to fellow contributor for Penalty Box Radio, Abigail Martin. Last night, pretty revolting stuff happened. I'm not going to repeat the language that was used on the show, but if you want to go follow her on Twitter, you can see what went down. But pretty much we're going to do a quick glance at trolling in sports and sports media. As guys, we can't really understand what women in this atmosphere go through on a day-to-day basis, but trolling is definitely prevalent to both men and women. First off, to Mike and his old, username on Twitter used to be @the_MTN_. Stop being a douchebag, dude. That was an asshole move he did. Like I said, I'm not going to go into what he said. If you want to see it, go give Abby a follow. She covers MTSU. She follows a lot of hockey. She follows the Preds. She's a great reporter. She's got a bright future in front of her.
She's a much better journalist than we are, Bobby.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. They just gave us microphones, and we just get to.
And we had to buy them ourselves.
So, man. We're drinking Shinerbach here on air, brother. Okay, so this is an actual reporter and contributor to PBR. Yeah. Not that we're not. We contribute our own thing, man.
But no, honestly, there's a difference between trolling. Light trolling, for example, like when I went on the Preds Facebook and said I wanted to split a Subban and Marchand jersey, that doesn't hurt anybody. But when you send death threats to a kicker who misses a field goal or send sexually explicit things to female reporters, that's I mean, that hurts them.
Basically all of Kevin Durant's career. Yeah, man. So, no, I absolutely 100% agree. You know, and again, you spoke to we can't know what it feels like to be a woman in this line of work.
All right, so now it's time to bring it up a little bit and get a little happy, talk some hockey. So, will Alex Ovechkin pass Wayne Gretzky in most goals of all time? He's chasing Wayne Gretzky's 894 goals. That number seems huge, but in reality, he needs to average 36 goals for the next 7 seasons. And since he's already passed that halfway through this season, it's good. I mean, you could say I think he's going to score 60 at least this season. Maybe, I think, if I had to put money on it, I would say he scores 66 goals this season.
66 goals this season. I mean, he could do it. He could absolutely do it. It's tough to think that.
I think he's going to beat Pasta by 3 goals at the end of the day.
For the Rocket with Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not getting that point, buddy. No, seriously. I think that I'd say yeah. I think he'll beat it.
I think holding the crown is different than chasing it. I think that, if he's 40 short, and he's on a contract year and maybe 5 years or 6 years, he's going to stay around for that extra year and maybe extra 2 seasons at that point with that age and get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, with the way he's playing.
Yeah. I mean, age doesn't seem to be a factor with him right now.
Age doesn't seem to be a factor. He doesn't, knock on wood, he doesn't sustain big injuries. He's usually playing most games, so it's a crazy number. But if there's somebody that can do it, it's Alex Ovechkin.
And remember, kids, when your parents tell you alcohol's not good for you, just look at Alex Ovechkin.
Just say, yeah, come on, Dad, give me some vodka. Apparently there's
the breakfast of champions.
There's a story out there where apparently Ovi crosses the sauces when they're they get the team meals for pasta, and he we'll take the white sauce ladle and ladle into the red sauce and just use the same ladle. What an
absolute monster.
What are you going to say to the guy? He says, I'll take my 60 goals elsewhere this year. Don't ever threaten me, buddy. I'm actually a KGB agent.
So, yeah, I think we're both on agreement that he's passing that mark.
I don't see how he does
I
it,
think
for sure.
most people who know what they're talking about would say that he's the greatest scorer of all time.
I mean, Wayne Gretzky did what no other has done and won't ever be able to do again just because of the state of the league. I mean, goaltending alone is so much better than that era.
So, where we stand right now, as of recording this, we are 21 days from the trade deadline. Anyone who watched that Vegas game for the Preds knows that we might be sellers at the deadline. I said before the Vegas game that the next 5 games, so now the next 4 games, we had to get 7 points out of them if we wanted to be buyers.
And I thought that was a little strong.
Maybe 5, maybe 5 points out of the next 5 games.
I mean, we're still, what are we, 3rd or 4th in the wild card?
Yeah, but we have to make a decision at the trade deadline whether we're going to be buyers or sellers.
True. But we don't have to be either. You can be you can stagnate. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think David Poyle's going to do that.
No,
though.
I mean, I don't think he is either. I'm saying, I haven't decided.
I think he's the kind of GM that itches to make a move at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
He just has to.
Yeah, but if it works.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. So, I mean, we've seen what the Wizard can do.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna know at some point whether it's time to sell or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying no, we're never gonna sell. We can always make it. No, nothing. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying we're not in a position right now that is like, okay, let's go ahead and start planning that. Who you thinking that they're gonna be looking to trade if they do?
Yeah, so these are 2 guys that I really like, but this is a business. These are both UFAs coming up this year. I've got Old Bones, Nick Bonino, and Crazy Legs, Craig Smith, are 2 guys that I think we could be sellers at the deadline and get rid of them and bring in some picks, some young guys, stack the Admirals a little bit and see what they can do there.
I fear this one specifically for myself, but I feel like he could fetch a decent haul. Granlund, man. Granlund. I mean, unfortunately.
I mean, he's been playing better since John Hines here.
He's been looking really good.
Up in that trade value.
Like you said, you want to stock up a farm team. And, I mean, Granlund wasn't everything that he was in Minnesota when he came here. But, again, like you said, he's looked really, really good under John Hines. It could have been just a system thing. some coaches are dead set that my system is the right way to play instead of playing to their personnel, and it's literally the dumbest thing you can do in sports today. It's not play to your specific personnel. So that would be unfortunate to lose Granlund.
So we're keeping the hockey talk a little bit shorter today. We've got a long pop culture segment today because we're moving to the end of our Star Wars segment. So, but before we do that, how about the Kansas City Chiefs are now the world champions? And for those of you out there who are not smarter than a first grader, the Kansas City Chiefs play in Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas City, Kansas. Just throwing that out there, not directed towards anybody, just in case you don't know that.
Just in case you weren't aware. No harm, no foul, if you didn't know. Okay, so Super Bowl 31-20. I won a little bit of money on Super Bowl squares. Shout out to my folks, though. They won a decent amount of money on Super Bowl squares, so happy for them. The game, 31-20, as I said. I was 8 points off, Bobby.
Yeah, your prediction was closer.
Off, so
towards the end, though, when that last play, I thought he was going to catch it and run it in with 0 seconds on the clock. I thought my prediction was going to come true, and they were closer.
It was me. It was me.
So we'll figure out a punishment for that.
So you're definitely getting punished for that.
We're working on a spin wheel to work on punishment. So we need some help from you guys. If you guys have any ideas for some punishments that we can do, nothing too crazy, no money,
no tattoos, no cutting hair.
I'm open to tattoos.
He's open to tattoo, but just send him a tattoo request. That's I'm not getting any tattoos. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. All right, so what were you drinking during the game, man? You have anything?
Yes, I do, and I was gonna ask you, so thank you for bringing it up. I actually bought two things, and one was a classic beer I love, my Killian's Irish Red. I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and it was probably one of the more disgusting beers I've ever put in my mouth.
You have a habit of doing that, just like buying like a crap load of something.
It was a 6-pack,
and then well,
I can't taste test it in Kroger.
Yeah, but you don't have to test it on Super Sunday either,
well,
man.
That's why I bought a 6-pack of Killian's because I knew I liked it. But it was a Black Abbey porter. I can't exactly. It was a purple logo. It was not good. I drank about a quarter of it, and it was like a coffee based porter. And I like coffee porters, but not this one. This one was disgusting. I had drank my Killian's, and it was quite funny actually. We did our shopping after the Vegas game, and I was quite drunk, and decided I was going to buy about 15 bags of chips.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I bought literally every single flavor of Doritos they have. So I got the regular, the blue,
You're ready for Super Sunday,
the sweet chili. And
the sweet chili's pretty good.
It's solid. What I really like though is the new Post Malone Flamin' Hot Lemon flavor. It was good.
I haven't seen that.
It's a bright green neon bag.
I order most of my groceries now, so we don't have to walk.
Old bougie ass over here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. That I feel so fancy, but it's like $10. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna spend way more than $10 on stuff that I see. I'm on Post Malone's lemons, dude.
So what were you drinking during the game?
I kept it classy. I kept it, rolling rock. Yeah, so nothing too crazy. You had to go to work.
Yeah.
They gotta switch it to Saturday, don't they?
I think Super Monday needs to be. Why not move President's Day to that Monday? They're all dead. They don't care what day President's Day is on, man.
Dead,
move
man.
President's Day to Super Monday.
That would be so perfect. Obviously it would still be better for it to be on Saturday. Like, let's get out of this. It doesn't have to be on a Sunday. We can just change it. It's no big deal.
But if you're gonna keep it on Sunday, there are so many holidays that no one cares about. You can just move to another day.
So many holidays.
If you want my vote for president, that's gonna be your first executive action.
You gotta have that on your platform. Like, I'm gonna need a candidate that understands that Super Monday for some of us is very important. So Super Monday, that way you can get wild and everybody can have fun. So we wanted to talk commercials.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not great this year.
I wanted to jump in here and steal a least favorite, okay? Because I didn't want you to steal a least favorite.
Okay.
Political ads. Any political ads. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Unless your political ad has something to do with you making Super Monday a national holiday, I don't know.
Yeah, they're not for Super Bowl Sunday, man.
No, I don't care what party affiliation you are. No, don't do it. You're dumb. Don't do it. Okay, that's it.
Well, we share those least favorite because I was
That's
I
it.
came in here heated to talk about that.
That's it. I don't want it to make it seem like this is a partisan thing, dude. It is it's just a holy day. You never know who you're hanging out with and stuff, and like inevitably somebody's gonna get pissed off. I mean, not that happened. At our party.
Luckily, I just watched it at home with my wife, so I was able to.
I
was able to express my opinion.
You were arguing with yourself, though, Bobby. But okay, so some favorites, though.
Oh, I have my favorite, and I loved it.
I'm gonna let you get your first.
It was either the Hyundai commercial, the Boston, the Smack Car.
Yeah,
that was my favorite by far. I loved it.
I don't know. I think they could have done it a little better. I liked all the people in it, and I liked the premise of it.
It's wicked smart.
Yeah. Okay, so now I guess I get the actual true number one. Dude, it had to be Jason Momoa taking off his muscles,
really?
Dude. Yeah.
Oh, we hated that.
So funny. No.
Megan and I just looked at each other like, what is that? This is horrible.
No, that one was so funny. Yeah, that's what you get for just watching it alone at home, dude, with you two. You don't get real people to banter it off of. Like, it was funny, man. I didn't like super watch them even.
No, I watched them a little bit, but like there was nothing really that caught my eye.
The Groundhog Day one with Bill Murray.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean it was funny. I liked that one. That was probably one of my.
It was.
One of my more
I don't know.
favorites.
It was all right.
The Sam Elliott, what was it?
Lil Nas Sam Elliott. I like that. His mustache dancing.
Okay, yeah, that was okay.
I liked Post Malone's.
The best part of it though was the horse.
Yes,
that was
the
like,
prancing.
No, well that, but like the other horse when Sam Elliott looks to his horse and the horse is like, nah, dog, like give it up, So that was super. That was my favorite part of that. But I thought it was a good football game. It was, if you liked.
It was, yeah. It got good towards the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just depends on what kind of football you like.
Yeah.
Like if you like close. I was talking to folks at the party and just saying, no, it's going to be a close game. I just hope it's a close game.
Yeah.
For them, and for the most part, it was. I mean, it never got really out of hand.
All right. So one thing we want to talk about had me fuming the other day, and that is what Mayor John Cooper has done to the soccer team.
Yeah, that's it's real frustrating.
Yeah, he negged out on a deal that they had. The council voted, I believe it was like 34-6 or something like that, overwhelmingly. Yeah. And because he was part of the 6, he has now shot down deconstruction of the fairgrounds. And
the the fairgrounds commissioner is like, hey, can we do this? These buildings are now obsolete.
Yeah. And
we cannot use them anymore because we've already done, taking out all the electrical work and all that stuff. So at this point, he's being willfully ignorant and willfully.
Yeah, and I mean, he ran on getting this deal done in his election. That's what he ran on.
Yeah,
and because he's now a yellow-bellied coward who won't stand up for what he said, no, he needs to get removed from office or get voted out next election cycle. This is not okay because it has made him a liar now.
Yeah, it's super frustrating, and it's not what you want to see with this state. I mean, we're already not going to go because we're going to go. We're just not going to buy season tickets until they're actually in the new stadium.
Yeah, I'm not about to go to watch them at Nissan.
I don't want to buy season tickets at Nissan Stadium.
No,
and
it's not a fun stadium to go to.
It's not a very fan-friendly place. As many times as I've gone. So get the deal done. It's I know some folks want it to be moved somewhere else and stuff, and that's it's fine if there was a viable option. Bring it to the table.
So we got games of the week. Time to get back to a little bit of talking hockey. And the way this is going to work, we tell you what games you should watch if you have the capability of doing it. We're going to tell you who we think is going to win, and at the end of the day, we will tally it up. We'll get 2 points for a win, no points for a loss. We can pick one game out of this week. We picked 4 games. We can get one game out of them to double down on. Meaning, if we win, we get 4 points, but if we lose a point. So that can be a pretty big swing if you lose a double down.
Are we required to take a double down?
Yes. My first game of the week is the night that this episode airs, Wednesday. It's the Maple Leafs versus the Rangers. I think that's a good, solid Eastern Conference showdown. I think Austin Matthews and the Leafs pull that one out.
For my game number 1, I actually have the Panthers and the Blue Jackets. It's actually Tuesday before the podcast comes out. So this game will have already happened. So if I'm wrong, make sure you tweet at Bobby and tell him that I'm an idiot. I'm gonna go with the Panthers here. Game number 2. Who do you got, buddy?
So this is on Friday night. I got the Wild versus the Stars. Good Central Division matchup. Preds fans, you need to get out and watch this. It has a lot to do with us, where we're gonna fall in the wild card. So if we make the wild card,
yeah, how far below the 2 spots are we gonna fall?
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the Stars.
Taking Stars in that game. I have a game for you that's actually on Wednesday as well. So definitely you'll probably be able to watch this one easier anyway since it's on NBC. Bruins Blackhawks. I'm not getting crazy here. I'm gonna take the Bruins, man. I'm not gonna fall for any double down trap.
All right. So on Saturday night, we've got the Islanders versus the Lightning. I think it's gonna be sneaky good. I think that the Islanders are playing real well right now, and we get to see the fastest skater in the world right now, Mr. Barzell.
Oh, yeah.
And this one, I'm going to take the Isles.
Okay.
I think the Isles are going to pull this one out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not going to double down on that one, though.
Okay. I was going to say, why not, man? Why not? Go for broke. Okay, so on Thursday, February 6th, Penguins versus Lightning. And so before they go get devastatingly beat by the Islanders on Saturday, I think that the Lightning are going to beat the Penguins, and I'm going to double down on it.
Okay.
So,
solid. All right, so for my last game of the week, I've got the Ottawa Senators versus the Jets. This is a 1 p.m. matinee game on Saturday.
Yuck. Yuck. What a choice, Bobby.
I think Preds fans need to watch this, and I think, watching matinee hockey, man. Matinee hockey is always good.
Sure, and I guess, no football at all, dude. Yeah, that's sad. So, okay, good call. It's
and
a 1 p.m. game. I'll give it to you.
And this is going to be, I'm going to double down on Ottawa upsetting the Jets.
No way. Why are you making this so easy for me, buddy? I'm gonna dominate.
Gotta make it interesting, man.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be interesting when you lose everything. Okay, so I actually have for Saturday the Predators Oilers. Again, talking about the Preds needing points, and they usually give the Oilers a good go of it. So I'm actually gonna go with the Oilers, and maybe if I'm wrong, I'll at least be happy that I was wrong. So Oilers over the Preds on Saturday the 8th. All right, man. So let's move on into Joke of the Week.
Yeah, Joke of the Week.
We actually have a wonderful announcement for the last week's Joke of the Week of Gritty. Stop clapping, Bobby. He shouldn't have put himself in a position in the first place. Gritty cleared of all charges. Again, we want to reiterate what Bobby brought up last week. We want to reiterate that throughout this whole process, the police, the newspapers,
they're keeping up kayfabe, dude.
Gritty that's what the police put out. Gritty has been cleared of all charges. So congratulations to Gritty. He can go back to doing whatever Gritty does. I
wonder
guess.
if they questioned him in his outfit. Did they ask him to come down to the police station and put him in the interrogation room as Gritty?
Or did the Flyers lawyers go with him and were like, look, we'll let you talk to the guy, but we're gonna need y'all to sign some really tight NDAs.
Or the lawyers were also in little Gritty outfits, but not skinnier. It was actually Gritty's own personal lawyers.
They were Gritty and Armani. So Gritty cleared of all charges, and funny enough, that's not even the joke of the week. That's just to close out last week's joke of the week. So, James Dolan, New York Knicks owner, gets super mad about anything. Anybody directing any save the team, sell the team type talk, anything like that. He's an uber crybaby when it comes to this stuff. So when they're playing the Memphis Grizzlies and we're getting blown out, the arena erupts and sell the team chants. Just sell the team. And so James Dolan's super mad. He's trying to get security to pipe in music so it drowns out these people saying sell the team. But it doesn't. It just gives them a nice little beat for them to scream sell the team at. So he then finds the closest teenager that is also chanting sell the team at him because he likes to sit in the stands instead of sitting in an owner's box because he's so loved. He gets mad at the teenager for yelling "sell the team" at him, telling him it's rude and he's
gonna
you
kick
know,
him out
he's
and
gonna
ban
kick
him.
out and ban him. What a joke, Bobby! What a joke! Are you kidding me? This billionaire, even if the kid was being rude, dude, you're a billionaire. You own an NBA team. Are you telling me what some little basketball fan, some teenager, says to you? You're that shaken up by it that you want to get him tossed out and thrown out? Oh my God, what a joke!
The video's
man.
up on YouTube. Go watch it.
Go
It's
watch it, man.
quite ridiculous.
What a joke! You should be forced to sell the team. The Knicks, they're awful, man. They're terrible. They are not good at all. So what a joke.
Now we move on to one of the funnest parts, talking some pop culture. And we are on part 3 of 4 of our Star Wars discussion. And I want to give a quick shout out. If you like Star Wars, if you like listening to everything about Star Wars, go listen to our friends on the Hyperspace Hangout podcast.
They're much more knowledgeable than we are.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just like talking about it, so we
Yeah.
bought microphones to do so.
But anyway, so today we are doing it was going to be top 10, but we decided to change to top 15 because there's just so many.
When we're doing a consensus.
Yeah.
We're doing
So,
a consensus.
we're not each giving it. We're giving it as a show. But today we're doing top 15 lightsaber duels. And I think this is going to be a fun one. So 15 through 11, we'll just fly through real quick, and
we had to mention them.
they had to be mentioned. But at number 15, we've got the Dark Lord himself, Darth Vader, versus Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi.
Hey, do not forget old Palp sitting back, just relaxing, enjoying the show. He hadn't seen live lightsaber combat in quite some time. Dude was pumped about it.
Yeah.
So I know. Yeah. So that had to be number 15. So number 14, we had Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting Dooku, where Anakin ends up killing Dooku in Revenge of the Sith.
And then at 13, we've got Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious.
Technically, that was a 4-on-1, Bobby.
Yeah, for the first 5 seconds.
old Kit Fisto. He never stood a chance, did
man.
he? Man, got shredded. Number 12, we actually have Luke and Vader in Empire Strikes Back, and that was such a fun fight.
Yeah.
Vader's giving him about 40%. He's
Yeah.
just like, come on, come to the dark side. He's just trying to join. He's like throwing stuff at him. So
He wasn't even paying attention. He stepped back over a ledge and was like, oh, crap. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I would love to see a cut where you see him trying to get up off his back in that big suit.
He's like turtle. Yeah, it's like it has its advantages.
Yeah. So at number 11, we've got Darth Sidious versus Savage Opress and Darth Maul from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, so some people won't have seen that.
Yeah.
Whether you've seen the Clone Wars or you haven't, go watch that fight.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet.
So now to move on to the top 10.
All right,
And
top
starting out at number 10, Obi-Wan versus General Grievous of the Separatist Army.
10. This was Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Awesome, what an awesome fight that was so short.
And in the original script, it meant to be a lot longer, and they decided they looked at the times, and that's why he pulled the thing down on him. He was supposed to fight all of those droids originally. He was supposed to fight all of them, but they decided for time they were going to cut it out.
They have so many battles with him in the Clone Wars. So that was definitely a top 10 fight. Number 9, we have Yoda fighting Darth Sidious, Revenge of the Sith. That was a
fun fight.
That was fun.
Personally, on my personal list, it was lower. I love Yoda. It was a lot of fun. It's just so acrobatic, just jumping around. And like I'll mention later, if there's one way to defeat Yoda, it's just throw stuff at him or around him.
He loves to play catch.
Yeah,
he's really like
he will drop what he's doing to catch anything. He doesn't know how to dodge.
He forgets. He's
Yeah.
He's like gotta catch it, gotta. What do we have at number 8, Bobby?
At number 8, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker versus Ventress from the Clone Wars.
This was the Clone Wars, because they fought a couple of different times. Yeah. But the one where
she had been excommunicated from the
Dooku,
Sith.
Yeah, Dooku just excommunicated her. So that was super awesome. There's at one point where she gets both Anakin and Obi-Wan up into a force choke.
Yeah.
In both one time and almost had the battle if it wasn't for a ship crashing in. Number 7, we have the Kylo Ren and Rey fighting. Well, starting with Snoke, I guess. He didn't put up much of a fight.
Yeah.
So starting with Snoke, but fighting the Praetorian guards that Snoke had guarding him. Those weapons and things that those things had, awesome. Right?
The nunchuck things were cool.
That just turned into a regular staff if you need it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, it really goes to show how bad that movie was. With such an awesome, badass fight scene, it was still such a bad movie.
Right, we have it in our top 7 duels fights of all time. But yeah, I mean, even at the end when Rey throws the saber,
catches it right.
Oh,
so cool.
Turns it right back.
Yeah, I loved it, man.
That was cool. That was super cool.
But now moving on to number 6, and this is one of my personal favorite. Not number 1 or 2, but it would be in my personal top 4 or 5.
Your battling got it up so high. I love the fight.
Yeah.
It's like you felt with the Sidious fight. I felt it was a little lower, but he loves it so much. He ranked it so high, so consensus brings it up here.
And this is Darth Maul versus Pre Vizsla. And I think it has a lot to do with that I love Darth Maul and I love Mandalorians, so seeing the two of them fight are so much fun. It's from the Clone Wars. You've got the dark saber. You've got Darth Maul with his robot legs. Yeah. And it really goes to show that, the Mandalorians are great fighters, but all that technology means nothing to the power of the Force.
Yeah.
I mean, once his jetpack went out, he had no choice but to give in to the power of the dark side.
Yeah, he gave him a good fight. And he gives a couple different people a good fight in there.
But now moving on to number 5. And this started out as a 2v2, quickly turned into a 2v1.
Yeah.
And that is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ada Gallia versus Savage Opress and Darth Maul.
Yeah, she got rammed.
She got worked.
She got rammed in the chest pretty early on by Savage.
And that is not an innuendo.
No, it wasn't like they just went off and were doing their thing. Is not what I'm saying. No, she got murdered pretty early on by Savage Opress, Maul's brother. So
I think he's the only one we've seen being like, "Oh, I have horns on my head. I can use these in battle."
He's smart in a really dumb kind of way.
Yeah.
He was resourceful. So at number 4, we have. It's funny because it is actually so expanded. It's going to sound like I've messed up and Bobby just did a terrible job of editing. But really, this is just how the fight kind of played out. So it started off with Dooku fighting Savage Opress, Darth Maul's older brother, and Asajj Ventress, Dooku's former apprentice. Well, the battle gets separated up. Dooku continues to fight Asajj Ventress, and who shows up but Anakin and Obi-Wan to fight Savage Opress. So you have all of these fight scenes going on in Clone Wars, and I mean, just purely based off the volume. I mean, it was hard to rank it lower because, I mean, even if there was some bad parts, there was so much going on.
One thing I really liked about it was it showed how much better Dooku was than his student.
Oh,
the moment there was 1v1, he was given like 30% effort. And
he played real hard into the rule of 2. He was never going to have a apprentice beat him. So that was our number 4. Number 3 was really high on your list.
Yeah, I really liked this one a lot. And I know you didn't like it as much. And that is Ahsoka Tano versus the Dark Lord Darth Vader in Rebels. I think you got the quality of the fight, the acrobatics, and I know we're really just judging off like the.
You just got really excited because you got to see a piece of Anakin's face.
And I mean, you saw like they did the cool thing where it's like his like natural voice mixed in with like the machine voice.
Yeah, definitely.
And when she said, "I'll never leave you," and he said, "Leave or die." Like, you could tell he was, at this point, he was so far into the dark side.
I'm so fed up. He's like the dad that's like talking about people leaving the lights on.
Yeah.
You know, he's done with it.
Yeah.
You turn the light off or you're dying today, kid. Yeah, that's so. But the thing is, Bobby, it ranks so high. And we talked about before ranking that it was just pure the lightsaber, and now you've brought up the voice changes.
I have a question that I'm not sure about. Is that the last time we truly see Darth Vader use lightsaber mastery, like being able to use the because after that we see him kind of he's so old and decrepit that he's kind of just swinging left and right.
Yeah.
But so I think that's the last time we see Darth Vader the badass and not
That
Darth
is-
Vader, the
that-
old grumpy old man. So now moving in to number 2, and this is when it starts getting good, guys.
Oh,
It's
no, it's
Obi-Wan Kenobi, old Annie, and Yoda versus Dooku.
To be fair, it was 1v1, 1v1, 1v1.
Yeah, because they are not smart.
Obi-Wan comes in, gets beat by Dooku. Then Anakin gets his arm cut off by Dooku. And then Yoda comes in. And again, that was a super good duel.
Yeah, it was
Then
amazing.
he got stuff thrown at him.
Yeah.
Well, it was really more he threw stuff at Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That's really what you got to do is you got to throw stuff at other people.
Which
He
I
just
feel
gets so
like,
jealous.
how about just a quick force push and push that stuff off and then get back to fighting?
Right, like, you don't have to
Or
hold it
pull
up.
them to
Like,
you.
We get it, Yoda. You're super strong, dude.
You know what I
Like,
don't like, and I remember thinking this as a kid when I saw this in theaters, is, all right, Yoda's jumping all over the place, and he jumped on Dooku's ship like 3 times. How hard was it to be like, oh, this is the only ship in this area. What if I just use my lightsaber and just chop it so he can't leave just
Let's
in case?
mess the ship up.
You know? Just let's cut off his mode, because eventually those guys are gonna wake up.
Yoda has an appointment at the DMV later. He didn't want to risk the shit.
So now, I know what you guys are thinking.
You've
How are we going to leave out one of these fights that are left that everyone knows is one of the best? Well, don't worry. We're not leaving it out.
We actually went with a 1A 1B situation, which I hate it when people do that, but I get it.
Yeah, we
now.
had to, yeah.
So my one and Bobby's one was a little different, but it was only these 2 that were our 1 and 2s.
Yeah.
Mine was the Anakin versus Obi-Wan on Mustafar, dude. You got it all, dude. You got falling, you got lava, you got 2 guys that know each other so well. So that was my number 1. And then obviously, Bobby, your number 1.
Yeah, so my number 1, it's what I think about when I think of Star Wars.
Second best.
And when you hear the music, you know what's happening. It is the Duel of the Fates. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi take on Darth Maul. And we saw the downfall of Qui-Gon Jinn. We saw Obi-Wan truly come into himself. And we see Darth Maul, just the mastery of the lightsaber, jumping all around, taking on 2, a Jedi Master and Jedi Apprentice.
Yeah, that was, you can't, like I said, it was very easy to say 1A, 1B type
But
on these
like
2.
the Mustafar fight wasn't, it's not like it was a big gap. They are truly 1A, 1B
Right.
for different reasons.
Right. Definitely love Duel of Fates.
And I think that they complement each other so well because of the high ground.
Yeah.
You go from Obi-Wan winning with the low ground to winning because he has the high ground.
He's versatile.
He's so good at learning from his past battles that one of the reasons Anakin wasn't completely perfect, and one of the reasons why he fell to the dark side was that he was short-sighted, didn't see the long game.
We'll talk. I think next week we're just going to do some general talk, and we may talk.
We might find a rankings to rank or something, but
may talk like lightsaber forms or something like that.
Yeah.
But because of his lightsaber form, it was defensively offensive,
Yeah.
and so his style was just so suited to fight other
Yeah.
saber fighters. So,
But yeah, so that, and we have a couple honorable mentions.
Honorable
Just real
mentions,
quick,
yeah.
we've
We
got
wanted to
Obi-Wan versus
talk about
Jango
that.
Fett, which I loved seeing that in the theaters.
no sabes.
Yeah, so it can't make it. We've got Dark Ahsoka versus Obi-Wan and Annie.
That was super cool. Story.
And the only reason it didn't make it was because it was very clear that both Annie and Obi-Wan were given like 40%.
Yeah.
If they
it
wanted to,
wasn't
they
a
could
hardcore
have
fight.
ended her so quick.
Something I liked style-wise was the Rey and Kylo fight from The Force Awakens. That was the snow and all the trees falling, and like what you can tell is very raw lightsaber talent with nobody that's ever taught them how to fight with a lightsaber. You got the dash in with the stabs and just pure anger coming from Kylo with no real channel to it.
And another honorable mention that we have to talk about, bad CGI be damned, is the fighting pits on Geonosis. You got all the Jedi versus all of the Geonosians, and you've got Mace Windu killing Jango. Yeah. It was just all around cool seeing all the sabers light up.
My, another one that that we definitely needed to talk about was Obi-Wan fighting Darth Vader in A New Hope for the first time ever. So they're rusty. They're
just
little rusty.
bit rusty.
They're a bit rusty. Again, he's in retirement, just like Obi-Wan. So So yeah, but the one that started it all really had to be mentioned. There was no way that we would get away with not doing that. So that's gonna take us into our final couple segments. What are you binging? And I see, Bobby, on the show doc here that you've changed what you're binging.
Yeah.
And thank goodness you have, because I came into this ready to rip you up.
So originally, when this show doc started,
It was, yes.
it was going to be the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, because my wife and I love that show, and the new season 3 just came out. Well, we haven't had time to sit down and watch it, so I'm not going to lie to you guys. One thing that I have been binge watching is The Good Place. I mean, how can you?
So good.
Yeah.
Man.
So Megan's not a big fan of it right now. I think she has to give it some more. But I mean, how can you not love Kristen Bell, dude?
It's so good. I didn't think, or I really went into it thinking that I wouldn't like it. You know, I think, this is kind of stupid.
For years, I thought it was going to be bad until I actually tried it.
Me too. And it is so good. You're so right. Kristen Bell is so good. And Ted Danson is awesome in it. And
yeah, so while I watch that, I'm drinking a beer that I found at my local liquor store by Old Shed Brewing Company called Potbelly Porter. It's a real smooth chocolate porter.
Sounds disgusting, Bobby.
It's delicious.
Sounds disgusting. Yeah, no, that sounds good, man, for you. So what I've been binging lately, Mr. Robot. It's a USA series. The final season just aired on USA. I actually haven't seen the final season yet. So good, man. Rami Malek is awesome. It is a truly great show. So I would highly recommend those to get out there and watch it. It's actually the first 4 seasons are on Amazon Prime, so you'll be able to check it out there, the Amazon Video app. But what I've been drinking a little bit of is the Wicked Weed Smashville Golden Ale. Really, really, really good, man. It's a super cool bottle and design on it. It's almost like a graffiti-style Predator on the side. So,
Yeah, I've seen that.
yeah, it's good. I mean,
I gotta give it a shot.
you got to give it a shot. It's not an IPA or anything like that, so you won't hate it too bad.
So now let's move into what snaps your stick, and I've got a good one this week.
So much. I've been thinking about so much to snap my stick.
So when it comes to sports, one thing that I hate, and you see this a lot on Preds Facebook, even Preds Twitter, which is a little bit more level-headed, but not for this. So here's a PSA for everyone out there. National commentators for NBC Sports, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, they don't hate your local team. They don't care. They might have their own biases, but it doesn't come out. They don't hate your team. Stop thinking that NBC Sports hates the Predators. Yeah. Stop thinking that Fox Sports hates the Titans.
They may give you a hard go about it.
But they give a lot of people the hard.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you listen closely, a lot of times they go too far on every team.
Yeah.
Mike Bilberry is bad because he's bad, not because he hates the Predators.
Everyone hates Mike Bilberry.
You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's not. I just don't like him doing his job. It's not because I think he hates my specific team. Great snapping your stick, dude. I love it. Could actually kind of go to really anything, but sports is mostly what I buy tickets for. So that's why I'm going to use it as my sports answer. Predatory ticket agencies that have such exorbitant fees, such high fees. You know, they get bought out. All the tickets get bought out immediately and immediately put onto resale companies. Ticketmaster being the only place you can get a ticket. It's just getting out of hand that they're able to have such a monopoly.
No, and I mean, those are the times I'm happy to be a season ticket holder for the Preds, because sometimes I get on to see what like the going price of tickets are. Sometimes they're just outrageous, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to events where I've paid just as much in fees as I did for the actual ticket.
Yeah.
Like to go to like the Vanderbilt game, down here in Nashville. The tickets were $7 or $8, as Vanderbilt tickets tend to be sometimes. And it ended up being, I bought 2 tickets for $6 or $7 a piece, and it was $22. How? It didn't cost you anything. It cost you no money.
Yeah.
So that's what snaps my stick sports wise. What is snapping your stick in the external of the sports world these days, man?
So this is going to piss off a lot of people if you were unlucky enough to have parents that did this to you.
Yeah.
This is people who have normal names like Jeff or Alexander or Braden, and they spell them weird. The thing I hate the most is Jeff with a G. Get out of here, man.
Geoff?
What are you doing? And I've got a list here. Just these crazy things. You've got Alexander, Alexzandre. What are you doing?
Okay, so I want to highlight. I have zero problem with the messed up spelled name in itself. What I do have a problem with is people that are so upset that you've spelled it incorrectly.
And I think that's what causes my hatred for it.
You know, that is my thing. Look, you can spell your name like Prince spelled his name with a symbol. I have zero problem with that.
But don't get mad when I spell it the normal way.
But I'm going to, you tell me your name is Prince. My first thing that goes to my head is not drawing a symbol. That's just the way I was taught, I guess. You know what a big offender in this class of people? At the Ashleys. Any level of Ashley. There's so many ways that you can spell their name. So
Megan's can be pretty bad too. Luckily, my wife, she spells hers like a normal person.
Well,
you got like, oh no, or you say,
and I feel like you're saying normal people. Lots of people are normal people, but admit when your name is not spelled as traditionally spelled.
Or like when they introduce themselves and they go ahead and tell you, it's like, "Hi, I'm Megan with an H." Like, I don't care. I'm not writing a check out to you right now.
What if you're looking her up on Facebook, though, Bobby? Maybe that's her Insta tag. No, I hear you. Yeah. And you want to sell me on your style.
And I just saw this one. I didn't realize there was such a way this bad to spell the name David. Dafydd. Daffyd. Daffyd. But it says it's supposed to be David.
Dude, all the Dafyds are going to be coming out of the woodwork to hate on us.
I will take on all two of you.
Oh. So enough making fun of potentially everyone in our audience now, Bobby. Let's move on to me, where I will isolate the people that have potentially done this. When parents let their kids run around at the restaurant, wears me out, dude. Snaps my stick so bad. I cannot handle it.
Yeah.
Some people get so mad when like a newborn baby cries or whatever. Look,
I don't get mad at that. It's a baby.
I get it. It's a baby. It doesn't understand.
And as long as you're trying.
But you are a grown up. Your 7-year-old probably shouldn't be running around the table where people are carrying hot food on trays to other people, and traditionally the person that lets their kid run around the table is also going to get mad that their food is late.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, Karen, and I'm sorry for those Karens out there. You're just getting generalized. I'm sorry, Karen. Your kid ran into me and spilled hot coffee on his forehead. That was your fault, not my fault. So, snaps my stick.
All right, and before we sign off, go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter at PucksOutPod and on Instagram at PucksOutPod. And stay on the lookout for after this airs. We'll be raffling off 2 free lower bowl tickets to the Predators game on February 18th. It is the Hockey is for Everyone night against Carolina. And all you have to do is go to our Twitter, retweet, like, and follow us, and you could be selected to win those tickets. All right, well, that just about wraps up. I got one last shout out to give. This weekend coming up on the 7th, 8th, and 9th is the Southeastern Collegiate Hockey Tournament at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Come on out, see the best teams in the SEC take on each other, see who's going to win. I'll be there working some of the games, taking stats. I think Brandon might try and show up.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make an appearance, but no stats involved for me.
We are one of the sponsors on the boards. Pucks Out Podcast will be sponsoring, and one of our sponsors, Standing Stone Farms Cheesemaking, will also be a sponsor. So come on out, check it out. It's going to be a good time. We'll watch some Southern hockey, see what everyone has to do. And, all right, guys.
There will be no pig racing at this event, I want to highlight.
But, all right, that about wraps up our time. I'm Bobby Butler, and for Brandon Bond, this has been the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network. Peace.
Peace.